Hi, I'm feminasty Erin Gibson.
I'm homosexual Bryan Safi.
And this is Attitudes.
LGBT plus issues.
Gender issues.
Pop culture.
I love seeing all of your smiling, beautiful, molery faces.
Can you handle those teeth? How about them teeth?
Did you watch that video? I was going through all my emails for the year that I didn't get to. Did you watch the video of the Infomania sizzle?
No.
That was sent to us?
Who sent it?
David.
When?
February.
Oh, perfect. I will say Erin does check her emails more often than I do. So I'm still on, I think, November of 2023.
Yes. So I just
I'll catch up to you.
I'm very good about responding, but then this one got past me.
Oh God, I would be way too scared. I mean, by the way, I am proud of my work on there, but I'd be I don't like looking in the past like that. I just don't.
I'm going to tell you something. I accidentally reflagged it because I just responded to all. I would just go ahead and ignore.
Okay.
Not that I'm not proud of us and all of it, but I don't think either of us were going through a real great personal time in that moment.
I know I wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I won't watch.
Yeah.
I won't watch.
I look like I have an eating disorder at that time.
Listen,
I look like a skeleton.
I have a question. Who is genuinely happy in their mid to late 20s? Who? Like, of course we were going through a terrible, I mean, you know, it's a hard time. Gen Z, maybe. I thought you said Jennifer Aniston. Jennifer Aniston was, you're probably right, actually.
She had a great 20s, 30s,
I would say she's had a great 20s, 30s, 40s, and I think she's even 50 now. So I think she's been killing it for decades.
Oh my God. Do you remember this summer when there was a rumor, and then I want to hear about your show. There was a rumor going around where Jennifer Aniston was having an affair with Barack Obama.
Erin,
and she had a comment on it, and she was like, no, but thanks for thinking of me. Like, she was like very judicious in that she was like, he's obviously a handsome man. I'm not sleeping with the former president. I would not do that to Michelle Obama. Like, this is crazy.
I never, ever heard that. But I will say this. Wild. I do remember when Brad Pitt left her for Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
And I remember in Vanity Fair did this. It was like the first interview she did after that happened. And, you know, like the world was really on her side.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget Kitson. Kitson made probably $1 million off of Team Aniston, Team Jolie.
For sure. You know, she's playing, Angelina Jolie's playing the opera singer Maria Callas in a new movie coming out. And it's the same guy who did Jackie with Natalie Portman and Spencer with Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
So I feel like it might actually be good, but it's a funny choice. I would imagine she's lip syncing. I mean, Maria Callas famously had like one of the best voices ever in existence.
This is going to definitely be a CNC Music Factory situation.
And I've never heard Angelina Jolie sing ever.
Mm-mm.
But I'll say this. Jennifer Aniston gave her first interview in Vanity Fair after. Mm-hmm. And I remember my grandfather had just died. You know, you remember where you are by the magazine.
How people die. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So my grandfather had just died, and my brother and I were driving from El Paso to Austin in his red pickup truck, where, by the way, he told me.
Your brother had a red pickup truck?
He had several. I mean, like in a row.
Sorry, he would get one pickup truck, red pickup truck would be gone, and then you would get a new one.
Right.
So your brother, did your brother grow up wanting to be a fireman?
No.
Okay.
No. So, no, but he also,
it's a very peacocky color for a truck.
It was a stick shift, and I didn't know how to drive manual, you know?
Uh-huh.
And he was tired of driving on that drive from El Paso to Austin. And he was like, this is how you're going to
hold on. First of all, that's not a long drive.
Well, it's like
6 hours,
9 hours.
Oh, okay. But
it's like a medium.
You're on the freeway. It's not like you're shifting the whole time. Anyway, I know your brother. It's fine.
I'll tell you who wasn't on. I'll tell you who wasn't on my side. Me and him. He tells me, he pulls over and he says, you have to drive now. And I was like, I don't know how to drive this truck. And he was like, okay, here's how you're going to learn. You're just going to do it. And for every time you get it wrong, I'm going to punch you. And I go, no, I'm not doing it. He basically dragged me out of the truck, put me in the driver's seat, punched the lights out of me. On my arm, not my face.
But still.
Oh, no. I mean, I had bruises. And I only probably went 100 yards. And I just couldn't do it. And so then he finally took over and he screamed at me. And and by the way, we were going to a funeral. But the point is this. We stopped at a gas station on the way.
Oh, now, he let you get out of the car?
And we were, by the way, in like Johnson City or something. No. And the gas station there sold Vanity Fair. And so I got Vanity Fair with Jennifer Aniston on the cover, which was like my saving grace in that car ride.
Yeah. I mean, really a way to get gay bashed in Johnson City, but go ahead.
Totally. I was like, oh my God, how are there any copies left?
So can I take all of them?
Exactly. So I got the Vanity Fair, smeared the fold-out perfume samples all over me.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
You were smelling just like whatever, Paco.
Absolutely.
Wasn't Paco. Wasn't Paco days.
No, I was smelling like, whatever, what was her name?
Christian Dior?
Isabella Rossellini. I smelled like Lancome.
Oh, Lancome. J'adore? Is that what it was?
No, maybe. Maybe okay. That's right. And
no, J'adore is, who cares?
Dior, yeah. Oh, by the way, okay, anyway.
Okay.
So I read the article and I remember at one point in it thinking Jennifer Aniston was kind of lame because Brad Pitt had just cut his hair really short, kind of spiky, and dyed it like platinum blonde.
Yeah.
And the interviewer said, "What did you think of him dyeing his hair?" And she goes, "Billy Idol called. He wants his hair back."
I like it.
Okay, then yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Lancome Tresor. That's probably what it was.
I think it was like Tresson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tresor. It came in like a reverse pyramid bottle.
Yeah. Oh, I remember the bottle well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it smelled like
me?
that.
I remember the Lancome bottle.
Are you kidding me?
Put me in a court of law.
Like that on the way to my grandfather's funeral with so much tea to spill because my aunt, when we got there, the aunt you met that we had to drink with at that hotel once, she was like, "Oh my God, what did the article say?" And I would like told her everything and then gave her the magazine after.
And so, she must have been in heaven.
Yeah.
Did your brother want to know anything about the separation?
No, he hadn't heard about it. So.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But I did get to play
I guess
Bjork
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Oh, he let you play Bjork.
And he loved it.
Oh, he did. I'm actually shocked.
See?
Did it calm him down?
Yeah, I think it did.
Okay, good. So this is the trick with your brother. If your brother ever have to your brother ever has to come to your house.
Yeah.
Your condo. My apologies.
Make it the 90s. Make it the early aughts.
You just have that music on when he comes in.
That's true. And everyone will be soothed.
Change the vibe.
That's right. Change the vibe.
Tell us about your incredible blockbuster sellout show on Saturday.
Well, I got to say, it was so fun. It was so lovely to see everyone. Thank you for coming. I am going to do one in LA. I was not there. I'll tell you why you were there, though. I want everyone to know I am doing one in LA in November at Dynasty Typewriter. That link will be up soon. But
27th?
Be careful that. I'm doing it on Thanksgiving. I'm doing it on Thanksgiving Day. And it's less of a show and more just I'm putting a table up and everyone can come and feed me.
Well, do you think it'll be a Saturday?
No. It's going to be on a weeknight. It's going to be on a Wednesday.
Okay, great.
I hate to tell
What do I care? What do I care?
No, it's at 7:30 on I think it's at 7:30 on a Wednesday.
That's great. I could fly right in from Albuquerque. It's 2 p.m.
There we go. But I will say this. The show could not have gone better. I had so much fun. It was so good to see everyone. Little pissed at one of the sections of the show, though. That did not go the way I wanted it to. I talk about you a little bit in the show, and no matter how many times I tried to stop the screaming and the applause after I mentioned your name, it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
And I really tried.
You did.
I told everyone, she's not even here. Who cares? Who cares? I only just met her. Who cares? And they kept screaming. Honestly, I'll be honest with you, Erin. There was a lot of love for you shown there. There really was. And
that's lovely to hear.
People said to say hello. People asked how you were.
Did you tell them how badly I'm doing?
I said, listen, she's finally out of her hostage situation with Jigsaw.
Yeah.
And she's back in an AI version of her home in San.
I'm with Jigsaw's sister.
That's right.
Jane saw.
Who was giving you all the creature comforts you need to make it seem like, it's like we've said before, it was the goblin that welcomes Jennifer Connelly back to her room, but it's not really her room. Remember?
Yeah. It's a fake room. It's an upside down room. That's right.
That's right.
Well, what was your favorite? What was the part of the show that you thought, oh, I didn't think this was going to hit so hard?
Hey, there's a musical number I do right in the middle of it. And it was the one I was the most nervous about because it's only one joke repeated for 3 minutes. Like, yeah. And I was like, and in my head, it gets, it's that thing where it's funny and then it gets a little funnier and then it just stops getting funny, but then it gets really funny.
Yeah.
And it worked the way I wanted it to.
Yeah.
So I was happy about that.
That's such a win.
Yeah.
And was this was, correct me if I'm wrong, directed by Jeffrey Self.
Directed by Jeffrey Self. That's Jeffrey, spelled Jeffrey Self, who was wonderful. Couldn't be in town for the show. Had to be in LA, got a job. Mm-hmm. So this very week, either that or he really couldn't sit for an hour and 5 minutes through my bullshit.
This business tears families apart.
Tears them apart. No, he did a fabulous job. Kat Burns helped me with some choreo, which I really appreciated. So it was really nice.
Kat Burns, who, by the way, if you don't know and you're a dancer, is the reason for the season, AKA why there's a choreographers union in the entertainment business right now.
She is one of the, well, by the way, I think she's the president of the union and she was one of the founders.
Also a member,
one of the founders, because choreographers used to, like, you would choreograph some giant movie or something and you would get paid like a day rate with no residuals, nothing. Even in a movie that is focused on, like, I would imagine, even in like
Hairspray,
Step Up. I mean, right. Yeah. So yeah,
Magic
she's
Mike.
Not only a troubadour, but also incredibly talented, warm, lovely, hilarious person.
Are you going to ever release it on DVD, do you think?
First of all, I think it's called Diva D. And I'm looking at some distribution options on DVD. Yeah, I am. So we'll see.
Keep your eyes peeled for that.
And you get the DVD player with it. So it'll be a combo offer. Because a lot of people apparently can't afford DVDs and DVD player. I assume that's why people don't have them.
Yeah, I imagine the shipping on this.
Oh no! I mean, all in, it's gonna be approximately $125. Yeah,
it's a steal.
Thank you
for the quality and the entertainment you get.
And by the way, I hope everyone's getting ahead on their stop the steal preemptive moves, because we don't need a repeat of 2020 when the. It's not even funny.
No. Wait, hold on. You're talking about what's happening in Georgia right now?
By the way, no. I was literally talking about, Trump's whole thing, stop the steal. But no, what's happening everywhere,
so
especially
Georgia. Talk to
Georgia.
yourself,
horrible.
Right?
Yeah.
Look at yourself in the mirror and say, stop the steal to yourself.
Stop. Yeah, absolutely. How are you though, my darlingest darling?
Grand.
That's
I don't
great.
know. I'm having allergies. Let's be honest. I've been having allergies for about 3 weeks. So I'm at like 70%. I had COVID. Now I have allergies. Can't breathe properly. And also, I've been having a real addiction to muted colors. So
you look fantastic.
We've got a combo platter here that's
because you know what you could easily be wearing could be the Wiggles. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I'm dressed like a toddler in the 70s. These are overalls.
No, but you look cool because it could be the Wiggles, but it isn't.
I've dressed Wiggles, but make it fashion.
It's Wiggles, but make it fashion.
Exactly. Thank you so much. I do have very excited that we have a Columbo back in action this week.
Back in biz.
I teased it last time and then I unfortunately ran out of time to do it, but we have it here. It's called The Murder of a Rock Star. Too many articles in that title. It's got Dabney Coleman.
It's a lot. Okay.
Too many. How about Murder of a Rock Star?
Yeah, that's cooler.
Do we need the
Rock Star Murder even?
Yeah. Dabney Coleman, Little Richard playing himself.
Dabney
and then
Coleman
Columbo's second wife.
I think didn't he die this year? Yeah.
Yes, he did.
And then Columbo's
second wife.
Okay, got it.
Her name's Shira Denise.
I like the name Shira.
Denise, who also worked in played a prostitute named Vicky in Risky Business.
Nah. Is that one of Rebecca De Mornay's friends, maybe?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
She did 6 episodes of Columbo.
Nice.
And she's in this episode playing none other than 1980s pop sensation Marcy.
Yes. No last name needed. Just Marcy.
Everyone knows that Marcy is a name that stands alone.
Revolutionary.
Not like Cher, not like Madonna.
No.
Marcy.
Did you guys hear the new Marcy?
It just sounds cool, right?
It really does. It really does. And now she runs 1 Million Moms. So
that's right. Because as Marcy's often fall into the trap of hateful.
It's true. It's
female groups.
It's a tightrope. But no, you had me at Dabney Coleman, and then you had me again at Little Richard, and then
I'm going to say something.
I'm in.
Dabney Coleman, also from Austin, Texas. If you don't know Dabney Coleman, also was the villain in 9 to 5.
Yes.
Also was one of the major stars in, oh my God, Carol Burnett Show.
Yep.
A person who can
Tootsie, one of the villains in Tootsie.
A person, when you see someone playing villains, I'm going to tell you this, more often than not, those people are the kindest people in Hollywood.
Absolutely.
The meanies are the greenies.
And it makes sense that he was kind because he worked and very talented. He worked all the time. Erin and I go to a restaurant in LA called Dan Tana's, which is not necessarily good food, but it's historical. The ambiance is great. It's really fun. And they have a steak Dabney Coleman. So,
which we can't wait to sink our teeth into.
No.
It's not made out of Dabney Coleman. It is a steak that Dabney Coleman probably once liked to eat.
Stephanie grew up in LA. And she would go to this restaurant with her mom, which was like very 80s. Like it's long clothes, but way back in the day, like pastel colors, like Beverly Hills-ish sort of, but like diner, you know what I mean? But like very 80s sort of Beverly Hills. And they had a side dish called the Pleasant Peasant. And it was assorted cheese, fruit, basket of hot breads with whipped butter and a glass of wine. It was called the Pleasant Peasant. Guess how much it was?
$100?
$5.95.
But fruit and cheese?
Fruit, cheese, and a glass of wine.
Do they mean like a charcuterie style fruit and cheese, or do they mix the cheeses in with the fruit?
I have no idea. I mean, listen, this is an era when it could be anybody's guess what they did with that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so Stephanie grew up on the Pleasant Peasant.
She grew up on the Pleasant Peasant.
I love giving children
Dabney
white
Coleman.
wine.
Me too. Me too.
LA was and always will remain a vibe.
It's always in the 80s, I feel like. Even when it's not, it's still in the 80s.
It's always behind.
They have, also, I think we've done this before, but Dan Tana has penne a la Michael Caine. You understand? Let's see. Fettuccine a la Gabrielle.
Mr. Wayne, I'd love to have the penne.
Mr. Wayne. It's so true. I mean, they really veal cut Milanese a la George Clooney.
Now, listen, I will say there's a gender disparity on this menu.
Veal scallopini a la James Woods.
No, thanks.
I mean, what? I truly. Shrimp scampi a la Jerry Buss.
Who the
Chicken
fuck is that?
cacciatore a la Ted Demme. Unbelievable.
Is Ted Demme like Jonathan Demme? I feel like there was like one woman on there when we looked.
There wasn't. She was a salad. I remember. I'm going to find her. Well, there's escargot. By the way, this one doesn't even have a last name. Escargot a la Shirley.
So McLean or Temple?
Great question. Let's see what else. Oh, there's a tuna salad a la Nikki Hilton, but Nikki Hilton, I think, is a man.
Not Nikki Hilton.
Not the sister, not Paris's sister, but like the father or the grandfather. Oh my God. Anyway, yeah.
Please go to Dan Tana. You know what? Here, I'm going to caveat this. If you like wasting money.
Absolutely.
But you think it's worth more. And you think it's, okay. If you would pay whatever it is, $100. Sergio, how much are Disneyland tickets these days?
Like $200.
$200. Okay.
Yeah, it's like $200.
If you would like a real life version of an amusement park, but it's just filled with characters, then I would say dollars to donuts, that this is worth your money. If you're also like, if you would pay $200 to go to Disneyland, I think you could pay for a shitty meal at Dan Tana's.
There's also something called the Tita Khan salad. I didn't know who Tita Khan was, but she's known for the Buttonhole Maker, Lady Boss, the Jackie Collins story, and Biography.
Oh, Biography. Yes, very familiar with that, Vig.
It's so good.
I love it.
I love Biography. Okay.
I love it.
Anyway, yeah.
I love it. Get yourself to Dan Tana's, and then before you go, get yourself over to Patreon. We've got a Vault episode number 53 out. Bryan explains teabagging and the birth of Fig Newman. We talk all about it, all the things that were important.
So
I will say this too. It's also right after the election of 2012. So brace yourself for joy.
That's when elections were won in one night. Remember?
Yeah.
Well, technically it was you recorded before, but you were just predicting that Obama was going to win.
Oh,
look at it. Honestly, why am I not? I really do think I have ESP.
Yeah. Move over. What's his name? 312-517-227.
Sure.
What's his name? 156. Who has the website? 213.
I don't know.
Who's the political
Houston?
guy who has the website that had numbers that...
538.
Yeah, 538. Yeah. Okay.
I see.
And then we also, as we said, Columbo is going to be on there.
Groceries. We're recording groceries this Thursday, or actually today, the time this comes out, but we're going to continue recording it. And so you can please send in all your tales from the aisles, product labels, anything like that to groceriespodcast@gmail.com. You could also DM us if that's easier, or email groceriespodcast@gmail.com. And also you can get the first act of our video episodes every week free. So it's the first act free video episodes at YouTube. And then by searching Attitudes Pod. And then of course, for the full video, you just go to the Patreon and watch parties on Discord on Wednesday nights. I assume we'll be watching Columbo this week.
The link will be in the episode description if you want to join us for that.
Yes. Should we do it?
Let's do it. It turns out that Jeremy Kaka Rowling, which is not the right letters, but I don't care.
No, Jermy.
Yeah.
Honestly, it suits her.
Kaka,
we don't want to
AKA.
offend actual germs. You know what I mean? They're just trying to do what they can.
Exactly.
To build our immunity. Yeah.
Exactly. Live on our skin, do weird stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new TERF on the scene. Okay. Sall Grover.
Okay.
And it's Australia, so get ready for the names. Just get ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sall Grover. So Sall is a gal, but she's also an Australian businesswoman as per her Wikipedia. But when you look at her accomplishments, it lists production assistant and screenwriter.
Listen,
I don't know how that makes a businesswoman.
So then aren't we all business people?
Then by that definition, everyone who breathes air is a business person.
It's a business person.
Yeah.
Just open up your Google Drive and put new document and you're a business person.
There you go. Did you put something in the calendar today? You're a business person.
You're a business person.
It's just not that easy, but I guess it's because she opened this app, which I'll get to.
Okay.
So in 2020, she started something called Giggle for Girls. Giggle for Girls.
Right.
Which was an app for grown-ass women to connect and find support in areas like finding roommates, freelancing, emotional support, and activism.
And you laugh through the whole thing?
You get...
Yeah. Yes. Well, everyone likes a girl who giggles, you know.
I wish that I wish the logo was a woman coming downstairs.
Me too.
But we can't be that lucky.
Absolutely.
So
not. Holding a basket of the pleasant peasant.
Yes.
With a glass of wine coming all the way down.
In a full picnic basket, but with the wine glass and the bottle in one other and the whole hand on the other side.
Absolutely.
Yes. So by 2021, the app had reported to have 20,000 users in 80 countries. That's 250 users per country if we just do the simple math.
God.
So
Huge
by
hit.
all accounts, this is not that successful. But
by no accounts, apparently.
Oh, 250 users per country. I can't wait to search the other 249 people who might have a roommate situation for me in a large metropolitan area.
Absolutely.
So the app used AI to do facial recognition of the women who joined the app. And one problem was that AI often failed to recognize women of color as women. That was failure number one. Failure number two, a trans woman who successfully joined the app was manually overridden. She was rejected manually, essentially. And that's when the criticism of this app really took hold. Absolutely deserved criticism of this app. It's hard to tell where the TERF, where non-TERF turned to TERF in this situation.
Okay.
Because according to them, during Giggle's 2020 launch, Sall who has the gall, said trans women were welcome on the app, even if they had a harder time passing the AI facial recognition. Also, problematic sentence.
A, B, C, D, E,
in
F, G.
every way.
Absolutely, yes. A to Z.
Because it kind of assumes that only trans women undergoing medical gender affirmation surgery would be allowed on.
Right.
That's what that's intimating.
Right, and have to look a specific way. I mean, the whole thing is
awful,
sus as fuck.
bad.
Yeah.
Then The Verge reported that Sall the Gall deleted a tweet that said Giggle for Girls had consulted trans women, saying, quote, we worked with trans girls who decided it was best to be upfront with the flaw, so there wasn't any hurtful misgendering. So she's sort of
you're acknowledging
cared.
Like, hey, this thing's fucked up. We can't change that, but we can tell you about it first.
Yeah, which is like, well,
lazy.
Okay, it's sort of nice-ish. It's ignorant, but trying, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. But then at some point, that fucking train slowed down and completely reversed course sometime later because Sall the Gall started being very loud about identifying specifically as a TERF, calling herself a TERF, and said that the app excluded trans women by design. So she totally reversed course for some reason. I think it's interesting.
I wonder why.
I don't know, but I do think it's interesting that a person who's unwilling to acknowledge the humanity of a trans woman suddenly wants everyone to acknowledge that she's a TERF, even though she wasn't born a TERF. I think it's very
rad.
Yeah, she's a cool lady.
Yeah.
Anyway, Giggle's ass was sued by the person who was manually kicked off Giggle for Girls. And that woman's name is Roxanne Tickle.
Listen,
I don't want to take any air out of this matter. I really don't.
No.
But the court case Tickle versus Giggle.
Listen, I compared you to the Wiggles. This is some Teletubby.
This is the best court
bullshit.
case ever named in humanity.
Yeah.
The fact that these names have to be repeated over and over again in a court case of this serious nature. You gotta love Australia.
Yeah.
You gotta love Australia. Anyway, as the case went on, Sall had a baby. So basically Giggle for Girls was sued. By the way, I guess Giggle is the name for a group of girls. I never heard that, but I guess I'll take your word for it.
I haven't heard it either. Yeah. Okay.
What's a name for a group of women who pay their own rent and have fucking car payments and have to go get their own contact lenses? Right. I'm curious because that's who you're trying to court with this. So she had a baby and then she gets sued. And then while the case is in court, she has a baby and then made a huge fucking stink about filling out government forms for her daughter. And was so bored and angry, she was like, got on the internet and was like, why aren't they asking for a mother's name instead they're asking for a birthing parent? So she complains about this.
Who cares?
Very inclusive
Why do people
label.
care?
I don't, because they're fucking mad and bored.
Right.
They're hurt, sad, and fucking bored, and they want everyone else to be just as fucking miserable as they are. And also,
but you can fill out your form honestly with that language.
Yes.
What
do mushrooms?
Care?
I don't know. I like do drugs at this point. Leave everyone else out of it.
Truly.
The minister for the government services, whose name is Bill Shorten. The names.
Giggle, Tickle, Shorten. Love it.
Reversed the inclusive label on the forms and went back to mother and father because Bill Shorten, quote, wanted to diffuse public conflict, which is such a cowardly thing to do. You already did the right thing. And one person said, I don't like it. Well, fuck that person.
Yeah.
Let him fucking sit and spin.
Absolutely. Sit and spin.
So on August 23rd, the judge hearing the case, the Giggle case, Giggle versus Tickle, handed down a verdict finding that Tickle had been indirectly discriminated against under the Sex Discrimination Act. What does that mean, indirectly discriminated? Okay. So as far as my tiny little brain can understand it, my tiny brain, it means that Tickle did not prove her case for direct discrimination under Australian law because Giggle was guilty of indirect discrimination under the Sex Discrimination Act, which bans any unreasonable rule or policy that unfairly harms or excludes a specific group of people, a protected group, basically.
Sure.
This act is very complicated because it also has a loophole that a female-focused endeavor can exclude men, but only if they're doing so in order to reach some kind of gender parity. And because this app isn't trying to do anything gender, it's not trying to like even some playing field.
It's not necessarily political, right?
No. And that was why, so kicking Tickle off of Giggle wasn't a loophole because they were just discriminating. They weren't trying to reach some kind of gender parity. That's why they're guilty.
If you are interested in explaining gender parity to, like, rip Teletubbies and Wiggles from your children's eyes and write a children's book called Giggle versus Tickle that explains all the wrongs in this world.
Yes.
With people, whatever, misgendering and the works, and get your young children on it now. Giggle versus Tickle is the perfect children's book.
I'm sorry. Even if you're using Giggle as, I would have to assume at some level to be some kind of joyful nod to joy, and you're hating this hard, you don't get to use the word giggle. So in this children's book, maybe Giggle had lost their giggle.
Yes.
And then that's how they get it back, is by doing the right thing.
And see, I think that's perfect because ultimately it has to be that way, because you get complicated when children understand that maybe like Giggle is a company and Tickle is the last name of somebody, that they might think, oh, so the right thing to do is always to tickle somebody. And it's like, no, that could be confusing. Do you understand? Exactly. So it is good to go ahead and say that Giggle learns a lesson. Yeah.
I love Giggle versus Tickle. Giggle learns a lesson.
That's it.
That's the subtitle. And then we'll loosely outline this as soon as we get off of this Zoom.
Oh, definitely.
Figure this out.
Yeah. And the person who should be the narrator, of course, is Ginny.
The Henny?
Yeah.
So it's Giggle versus Tickle. Giggle learns a lesson by Jenny the Henny.
Yeah. AKA, and with additional writing by Erin Gibson and thoughts by Bryan Safi. It's a long cover.
I love it.
It just is.
I mean, it's basically a book that looks like a scroll.
Right.
But with pages.
Exactly. But
it's a
once
scroll
you
with pages.
open it, it's
great.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like one of those oversized birthday cards that you get that everyone laughs at because it's so big.
Exactly.
But then that's the book.
That's it.
I love it. So the judge, who I should mention is a cis
The only
man.
book where you don't have to turn the page.
That's also a little seal on it. So everyone knows that there's literally no effort involved in this book.
Exactly.
It's just the title page and then you flip it and it says the end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be a hit.
I love it. This day and age, in the tech talk, Jen?
Because I got to say, if you've ever seen little kids flip through a book, they don't go page by page. They like go 10 pages by 10 pages and pretend that they're fast readers. They're not.
I think it's so sad that children have to deal with those heavy, thick, like 1/4-inch thick cardboard pages with their tiny hands. That's a cruel thing that someone did to them.
It's mean.
Yeah.
It's designed for adults to laugh at them, but it is mean to the actual children.
I think it's upsetting. Yeah. Their tiny hands, how do they even grab it?
It's not right.
No. I guess if they have peanut butter on their fingers, it makes it easier.
That's how I read books. And I'm actually not joking. Yeah.
I wish they would do an entire adults line of classics. So, Emily Bronte, John Steinbeck,
right?
Jane Austen, but in the version that you can take in the bathtub, like they give babies.
By the way, I would love that, because here's the thing:
it would be huge, but I don't care.
I don't care either. I'm happy to do it. I would love that.
We need a business. This is Sergio. You do a phenomenal job of everything that this show asks of you and beyond. But we do need a CEO for all of our business endeavors. We need like a private equity firm or something.
Someone where we just say it and they somehow make it happen. And then, but actually the seed money never comes from us.
Yeah, no. It's like how Ai Weiwei makes art. That's how we make commercial shit.
So Sergio, if you could put out the feelers for a very rich benefactor who doesn't mind losing a lot of money, that would be great.
All their money, essentially. Yeah. We would be one big tax write-off, but then they would be broke at the end.
They would be broke. Yeah.
So the judge, who I should mention is a cis man, came down with this verdict of guilty. Also chided Sall for being a shithead in court. He pointed out that she laughed when a demeaning caricature of Tickle was displayed in court, which was a candle
that
the Giggle store sold with said caricature, and the label of the product was called Sweaty Balls Team Giggle. I'm not even going to tell you because it's a caricature of Tickle with like a thought bubble with all kinds of anti-trans shit on there, and
that is
they were selling it.
Person.
So she made the candle, then they brought it into court. She started laughing about it. She thought it was funny.
Oh, she's psychotic.
Outside of being a troll move and absolutely monstrous, I mean, hold on. I should mention the Etsy store that sells it is still up and running. And they have other shit for sale on there that is totally in violation of Etsy's terms of use, which explicitly states Etsy prohibits the use of our services to discriminate against people based on the following attributes or protected classes. And that list includes sexual orientation and gender identity. It specifically says you can't fucking do this. She's selling a tea. So I basically went on there and I reported it immediately for violation of their own terms. She has a bunch of other shit on there. She's selling a tea that's like a shepherd fairy rendering of herself with the word no on it. I don't even know what the message is. And then a baby onesie that says, I'm not a vet, but I know what a dog is. Again, don't understand. I don't understand. And sorry.
I think she's saying like, I know.
Oh, like it's a gender.
I know,
okay.
Yes. It's binary, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
But then she also has a thing.
Stupid. And if you didn't know, I mean, it's just dumb. Yeah.
And then she also like attacks. It's all over the place. She has a shirt that says, sorry about your short dick, bro.
I do. You know what?
And then one that says men don't breastfeed.
I do prefer short dick. What?
Yeah.
Men don't breastfeed.
Yeah, that's another one. Now I reported this shop. If you go on there, you can report this shop too. Let Etsy know. Sall was also called out by the judge for refusing to address Roxanne Tickle as Miss Tickle or with she, her pronouns during the trial. This is basic decency. Yeah. This is like
the least you can ask for.
The least you can ask someone to do.
Someone you know or don't know with respect.
It's
basic respect.
Hard
you don't have to
either.
even like them if you're in a lawsuit against them, but you do have to just be a human being.
Sall sounds like a straight up bully. I'm kind of shocked she didn't make it in Hollywood with this kind of behavior.
Truly, me too.
It's the thing that gets rewarded the most. So I guess for one thing, we might be course correcting finally in the fucking entertainment business. And I'm really sorry that Roxanne had to endure this kind of discrimination. And I hope this sends a message to women who choose hate over inclusion that this shit will not be tolerated. It's obviously not going to be tolerated in the court of law in Australia. No. And it shouldn't be tolerated on Etsy. It shouldn't be tolerated, period.
Anywhere.
Like, call these shitty people out for being shitty. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. The binary is boring. Put it on my motherfucking gravestone, bitch. Stop being basic and love other people. however they present, however they identify. Mm-hmm. It's more fucking interesting than your dumbass fucking cis suburban blonde ass life.
And again, I do want to say that I would like to read Jane Eyre in my bathtub.
Without ruining the pages.
Exactly. Guess who's back?
The Shamrock Shake?
No, Erin. Spring isn't till next month. And it comes out every spring. Okay?
September, the beginning of spring. Well, maybe in Australia.
You never know.
I don't know.
Honey,
you never know, and there's no way to find out.
Robby Starbuck is back, which I love because, as you know, he is such a hunk. He really is the strong. If you don't know who he is, and I've talked about him before because he's the one who got John Deere, along with other companies, to remove all of their diversity programs, their DEI programs, everything like that, simply because he thought it was unfair and irreligious and and also was like, he was getting people to boycott these places, especially brands, specifically brands like John Deere and Harley Davidson that do cater to, I'll say it, well, John Deere, certainly rural people. And I think rural people generally are more religious and conservative. And I mean, that's just true. I'm not saying as a rule, but I'm saying as a rule. Those people, along with, he also did this to Harley Davidson, which again, I guess you could say, obviously not everyone, but the image is that of toxic masculinity. It just is. And so these are places, these are both agriculture and motorcycle driving are two things that I would say don't ever want to appear feminine, whether they are or not.
Yeah.
They don't want that in their brand. And DEI, for some reason, falls into the category of pansy and unchristian.
Also being nice.
Right. That being kind and
doing unto others as you wish they would do unto you. Yeah.
Means that you're fairy. You know that term that they use, fairy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we ain't talking
Tinker.
Thumbelina. Yeah.
No, and we're not talking Thumbelina.
Sorry, Thumbelina was not a fairy. I'm so sorry.
You know what, though? To me, she was, because I did, my whole life, I thought she was, in fact, gay.
You did?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? Why do you think she was small?
She made all of her own shit. Yeah. She had to.
She could do you understand she could crawl into crevices?
Yeah.
She was no bigger than your thumb.
That's why, hence her name.
Exactly. Do you know that someone's making a documentary about the tablescaping at the Orange County Fair?
Well, I've already seen one.
What?
There's already one on Netflix.
Then that must be what it is. And I can't believe how
I've already watched it.
Tablescaping at a county fair is my number one favorite thing because it is so brutal. They're so mean to each other.
Diabolical.
This is the one where like you're having a dinner party and you have to set the table and your theme is like Breakfast at Tiffany's or Lord of the Rings or something like that. And people go nuts. And the judging is so harsh. And they submit their table to the county fair. And these people are shit heads.
The judging is it's essentially German in its
Yes.
I also, if you watch the documentary, there's a lot of politics going on behind the scenes.
I believe it. Robby Starbuck to me is a tablescaper, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure. So I would love to see his tablescape. What do you think it is?
It's
like quotes and quilts.
Oh, all the seats are motorcycles.
Absolutely.
Or the old tractor seats, you know?
Yes.
Like from Man in the Moon.
Absolutely. With like Chuck Norris florals, you know what I mean? Just like his face and nasty. Okay.
And then all the tablecloth is just made out of like dirty oilcloths from a mechanic's garage.
Completely.
Yeah. And you eat off of a license plate.
Disgusting. And there's just blonde streaks all over it.
Yeah.
From like
no utensils because you do caveman style.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ugh. Paper hats.
And he wins because people love how bold it is.
Exactly. All primary colors.
Oh, there's so much red and blue and white. Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. And everything's corn.
Everything's corn.
And you know, corn doesn't deserve that I'm a fan of corn. I'm actually corn's number one.
Now I don't know if you're talking about the band or the food.
Always both at the same time, and I keep them guessing.
I see. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, there's definitely some... Robby Starbuck definitely incorporates corn into all his tablescaping. Jack Daniels is the new target for Robby Starbuck. They have just announced, and it worked. They have announced that they're dropping their diversity goals in their mission statement because of complaints from Robby Starbuck and his fucking gang of anti-LGBTQ plus assholes who form around different companies, essentially sort of like, I guess what people would... They're like Swifties and the Beehive, but for bad. By the way, Taylor Swift and Beyonce should get their fans to support small businesses, to like thrive around them. You know what I mean? Beyonce actually, I think...
Are you calling Jack Daniels a small business?
No, I'm just saying they should do like a counterattack of these things.
Yes.
Or maybe they just go after Jack Daniels and say like, you could be doing more. You know what I mean? That's what we need. We really need like a counter to all of this. Because Robby Starbuck doesn't really have that many people. And Jack Daniels, by the way, he had not even... Robby Starbuck, there was not even a boycott in place yet. Robby Starbuck had warned the company, essentially, and the company was like, okay, fine, we'll take it out. And said in their... This is what...
Cowards.
Exactly. So Robby Starbuck said that I was about, in his social media post, essentially said, I was about to expose the Jack Daniels company because they had a diversity, equity, inclusion program. And I was about to expose them for it so that everyone could understand what they're doing at Jack Daniels. All our proud American Jack Daniels drinkers could understand what they're doing.
Okay.
I would have guessed, by the way, because like whiskey is obviously enjoyed by more people than just straight cis white men, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine that Jack Daniels would have been the kind of company similar to Bud Light that would have been like, fuck off. More so even than John Deere or Harley Davidson, to be honest with you.
Outside of just fuck off, if fuck off is too strong for you, you could also ignore.
You could also ignore it.
Because they will move on to someone else.
Exactly. So Robby Starbuck's mission statement is to basically bring, according to him, sanity back to corporate America, which like, I'm with you, babe. I'm with you. It would be nice to bring sanity back to corporate America, but my version of that is making corporations not people and to run this country. Like, I mean, that is bringing sanity back to corporations.
How about this? Looking at Jack Daniels' taxes and being like, are you paying your fair share?
So Jack Daniels says in a statement they made after this, after they decided to walk back all their DEI inclusions and training and everything like that, says that they'll continue to try to foster an inclusive workspace, which I'm sorry.
Try.
Yeah. And then went on to say, we know it won't be easy to navigate the road ahead, but please know our deep belief in and respect for each of you remains constant. We're continually inspired by your passion for our branch, your dedication to our business, and most importantly, your care for each other. And they said, we do want to make it clear that everyone is welcome, respected, and able to bring their best self to work. They also said that they feel that the world is beyond DEI. Like, in other words, they said we put in DEI training when it was necessary. And now everyone's evolved past that. Like,
doubt it.
We don't need it anymore. Everyone's so cool with each other now that like, we don't even need it anymore. And it's like, dude, you're a liar. You're a coward and a liar. You're saying this world and this country is so perfect now when it comes to inclusivity based on race, gender, sexuality, everything, that we're so post that we don't need stuff like that anymore. Are you out of your mind?
That statement also is
bullshit.
Ready for Dan Tana's menu because it is word salad.
Oh, yeah.
There's not a actual statement in there, you know?
And this is only the threat of a boycott. The boycott didn't even actually happen. This to me is worse than what John Deere did. Shocking. Anyway, so somehow Robby Starbuck has a lot of power. Listen, I do not think that, am I a Swiftie? I wouldn't say that. Do I like some of her music? I do. Do I love Beyonce? I do. I would say this. We need to get some Swiftie style corporation. Or why not? You know what? Why doesn't fucking Starbucks do it? And just say Starbucks versus Starbuck.
Well, they can't even pay their workers fairly. So
It's true. It's true. But they should say, like, Robby Starbuck, you are no longer welcome in our store. Why aren't companies saying, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
There just needs to be some sort of counter programming to this bullshit, because Jack Daniels is a major corporation, as is John Deere, as is Harley Davidson. And it's sort of like one dude is going to take you down. And his name, by the way, he goes by Robby, not even Robert.
Yeah. He's not
even Rob.
You're scared of a Robby?
You're scared of a nickname?
No.
My God. Do you think that John Deere and Harley Davidson and Jack Daniels think that he's
John, Harley, and Jack? Yeah.
John, Harley, and Jack? Do you think that they think he's a Starbucks? Like, I mean, that he's from like the family?
Yeah, they must.
Yeah.
What other reason for
I know.
doing this?
By the way, I do want to shout out, and I know we're going to talk about in our Wooer show. I do just want to quickly shout out in other news how absolutely excited I am for Chick-fil-A's next move. Do you know this?
Yeah, streaming service.
Yeah, I can't wait. Erin, we got to pitch a show.
Well, after all the Christians left Hallmark and started their own network, I think Chick-fil-A saw their opportunity to get into the media landscape.
I think it's going to be wonderful. It's all going to be family friendly, and they're using a production company called Glassman Media that produces that NBC game show The Wall. So that's going to be really nice. Also, this production
I can't think of
was
anyone more adept at doing a streaming service than a fast food chain.
Me neither. I'm very excited. So congratulations, of course, to Chick-fil-A. I don't need to tell you all the things they're doing wrong. I'll tell you what they're doing right. They're getting what this country needs, what America needs. And Kamala, shame on you for not talking about this. We need another streaming service. And so I'm glad it's finally happening. That's all I want to say.
You know, we didn't, because of our schedule, we didn't really talk about the DNC, but I have to say, I've never been more, as far as those go.
As far as those go, I will say the speeches were excellent. I don't think the word trans was really mentioned at all. And there wasn't a trans
absolutely excluded some voices.
I know that they're doing that for like safety reasons, but that was annoying. But the speeches were phenomenal. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Did they make some missteps with some of their speakers? Absolutely.
Oh,
but I don't want to take away
namely
from
Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
What
Also, they had some sheriff on there who was a piece of shit, you know?
Okay, right.
But like, I don't want it to take away from like Jasmine Crockett's speech, which was incredible and inspiring, and Deb Haaland and all these incredible women who, just seeing the landscape of who was up there, I just thought it was
no, please.
It wasn't.
It's no question when I have to pick a lane which one I'm picking.
Yeah, exactly. We got some Spotify reviews.
Yes, we did.
Erin Nicole, which is my name.
Wait.
Says,
Erin, are you writing our Spotify reviews?
10 days ago, Fahrenheit equals Celsius times 9/5 plus 32.
No, we're not doing that. What we're doing is this. Okay.
I will look up on the Franz app.
Times 2 plus 30. That's what we're doing.
Times 2 plus 30 or divided by, but it doesn't work the other way, right?
Not really. I don't I can't, Erin, you
just have to memorize it. Here's the thing. You just have to memorize it. Or you do what I do. You get the Franz app that gives you both.
There you go.
And you call it a day.
I can't
There
do
it is.
fifths.
Franz.
I've done that before.
That's it. It's
That's
backwards.
Lovely.
But it gives you the whole thing.
Celsius in Santa Fe right now.
Yeah.
Which means it's 78.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect. Raphael Rafeth.
Okay.
Says, I'm so glad you remembered to end with thank you for sharing your laugh. By the way, am I paranoid for thinking that was meant in a passive aggressive way in the original story Erin told about it? Absolutely.
No.
Or not.
Sure. Or not. Great point. Erin.
Mm-hmm. That's me. We also got some Apple reviews. Do you want to read those?
Yes. 5 stars, best Bean Club podcast by OMG Lindsay Marie. This must go back from, what's the Bean Club you're a part of again? Rancho Gordo.
The Rancho Gordo, which I've just switched to light beans because I, like other people in the Bean Club, have too many beans.
OMG Henny says this review. Lady Attorney here. I just got the email that the Rancho Gordo Bean Club opened up because it's an exclusive club. I mean, I think they sell out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And I ran to my high heel shoe desk chair and signed up. This podcast will give you the best recommendations on all your legume needs. Thank you, Erin and Bryan, for being so incredible. I thought it said uncomfortable.
We are uncomfortable.
Thank you, Erin and Bryan, for being so incredible every week and putting your hearts and unmatched humor into everything you do. Can't wait to receive my beans, heart emoji, 5 high-heeled shoe chairs, and 5 bean emojis.
I love beans, and I'll tell you why. Number one, they're delicious.
Yeah.
They're inexpensive. You make them, I put a pot on every Monday, and I take them off. I drizzle with delicious olive oil. I put some Parmesan cheese, and that's a lunch for a champion. And it's all protein.
Wonderful. Swipe app user says, love the pod, 5 stars. I always look forward to hearing the latest. Erin and Bryan always make me laugh till my stomach hurts. If a new episode pops up, I'll squeal with delight, and it always makes my day. Keep up the amazing work, y'all. How nice.
Don't forget, you can go right on Patreon, grab your Columbo, The Murder of a Rock Star.
Correct.
And
our
we've
vault
got a Discord.
episode.
Yeah, Discord party.
Yep. We've got Wooer
this
Shoe
Wednesday.
now. That's exciting, which is basically like old school shade or no shade.
And you can send us your grocery questions, groceriespodcast@gmail.com.
Absolutely. Erin, thank you for sharing your laugh.
Thank you for sharing your laugh.
You're so welcome.